5 Japanese habits that help reduce belly fat. There's a woman living in Kyoto, Japan, whose mornings are surprisingly simple. Every single day at exactly 6 a.m., while much of the world is still asleep, she follows 5 incredibly easy habits. The moment she wakes up, she drinks a glass of warm water. No matter the season, she steps outside for a few minutes to breathe fresh air. She doesn't touch coffee for at least 2 hours after waking up. She quietly walks to a small temple near her home and back. And perhaps most importantly, she doesn't even look at her phone during the first 30 minutes of her morning. She's now 61 years old, yet her waist size hasn't increased by even a single inch in the last 10 years. She has never followed a strict diet or spent hours lifting weights at the gym. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the world, someone wakes up skipping breakfast, puts on running shoes, and pushes through an exhausting workout. They carefully count every calorie, eat only healthy foods, and follow every popular fitness trend. Yet that stubborn belly fat refuses to disappear. Why does this happen? What if I told you that the difference between these two people has very little to do with diet or exercise? Instead, it comes down to a powerful hormone that rises naturally within the first 30 minutes after you wake up every morning, whether you realize it or not. By the end of this video, you'll understand which hormone could be quietly working against your fat loss efforts, and you'll discover 5 simple, completely free habits inspired by Japanese daily life that can help shift your body into a more efficient fat-burning mode starting tomorrow morning. Before we dive into those 5 habits, we first need to challenge a belief that most of us have accepted for years. We've been taught that losing weight is just simple math. Eat fewer calories, burn more calories, and the fat will disappear. The entire fitness industry is built around that idea. But for millions of people, that formula simply doesn't work. Not because they lack discipline, but because they're overlooking one of the biggest players in the entire process. Its name is cortisol. Now, cortisol isn't the enemy. It's actually the hormone that helps wake you up, keeps you alert, and gives you the energy to start your day. Scientists call its natural morning rise the cortisol awakening response, or CAR. Within about 30 minutes of waking, cortisol levels naturally increase by roughly 50%. That's completely normal and even necessary. The problem isn't that cortisol rises. The problem begins when it rises too much, or stays elevated throughout the day. When your body believes it's under constant stress, it switches into what you could call fat storage mode. And here's the important part. That fat doesn't spread evenly across your body. Research suggests that chronically elevated morning cortisol is linked to increased accumulation of visceral fat, the deep fat that surrounds your internal organs and collects around your abdomen. That's why many people eliminate sugar, work out intensely, and still struggle to lose belly fat. They're trying to solve a hormonal problem with methods that don't actually address the root cause. So what's the solution? Japan consistently has one of the lowest rates of abdominal obesity among developed countries. When researchers looked for the secret, they didn't discover a miracle supplement or a trendy diet. Instead, they found that everything depends on how people spend the first 30 to 90 minutes after waking up. Let's look at those 5 habits in the exact order they matter, because the sequence makes a huge difference. Habit number 1. Rehydrate before anything else. This sounds incredibly simple, but most people get it wrong. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body wakes up mildly dehydrated. Your cells have been without water all night. And what do many of us do? We head straight for coffee. Stanford neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman explains that your body doesn't need stimulation. Immediately after waking, it needs hydration. Giving caffeine to a dehydrated body is like throwing fuel onto a fire. The Japanese approach is remarkably simple. Drink 1 glass of warm water as soon as you wake up, not ice-cold water. You can even add a pinch of mineral salt and a squeeze of lemon. Warm water gently activates digestion. The minerals help replace electrolytes lost overnight. Magnesium supports healthy stress regulation, while vitamin C may help support a normal cortisol response. This 2-minute habit sends a calming signal to your nervous system. Everything is okay. There's no emergency. Habit number 2. Get natural morning sunlight. This habit may seem insignificant, but it plays a huge role in your body's internal clock. Within the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking, Step outside and spend 5 to 10 minutes under natural daylight. Not through a window, not looking at your phone, actually outside beneath the sky. Morning sunlight tells your brain that the day has begun. This resets your circadian rhythm, your body's internal 24-hour clock. When that clock is out of sync, your sleep, appetite, metabolism, and cortisol can all become disrupted. Research led by Dr. Sat Chin Panda at the Salk Institute has shown how circadian rhythm plays a critical role in metabolic health. Morning light also helps your body produce serotonin during the day, which later converts into melatonin at night. Better sleep leads to a healthier cortisol rhythm the next morning. In Japan, many people naturally combine this habit with something called sampo, a slow, peaceful morning walk. Habit number 3. Wait 90 minutes before drinking coffee. This one surprises a lot of people. For about the first 90 minutes after waking, avoid coffee or tea. When you wake up, your brain contains a chemical called adenosine, which contributes to feelings of sleepiness. Normally, your body clears it naturally during the first hour and a half. But if you drink coffee immediately, caffeine blocks adenosine without actually removing it. The adenosine simply waits. Then, when the caffeine wears off later in the afternoon, all that built-up adenosine hits at once. That's the famous afternoon crash. Your body interprets that crash as stress. Cortisol rises again. Sugar cravings increase. And the cycle repeats day after day. In Japanese culture, there's a concept called ma. It represents intentional space, a mindful pause. Instead of forcing your body awake with caffeine, allow it time to wake up naturally. Habit number 4. Choose a calm walk instead of an intense workout. We've been told that the harder the workout, the better the results. But timing matters just as much as intensity. When cortisol is already at its natural morning peak, an extremely intense workout may keep stress hormones elevated for longer. Some research published in the Journal of Endocrinological Investigation suggests that vigorous morning exercise can temporarily increase cortisol for several hours. A more balanced alternative is another sampo walk. Spend 20 to 30 minutes walking at a relaxed pace. No rushing, no racing, just walking. Stanford researchers have also discussed a phenomenon called optic flow. As you walk outdoors and your surroundings move naturally past you, this visual movement helps calm the brain's threat detection system, including the amygdala. A calmer brain often means a calmer stress response. You simply don't get the same effect staring at a wall while running on a treadmill. For many Japanese people, this is an exercise. It's part of daily life. Habit number 5. Stay away from your phone for the first 30 minutes. This may be the hardest habit of all. For the first 30 minutes after waking, don't touch your phone. The moment you start checking notifications, emails, or scrolling social media, your brain receives rapid bursts of dopamine and cortisol. Within seconds, your nervous system shifts from a relaxed state into a reactive one. Stanford psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lemke explains that early morning artificial stimulation can raise your baseline stress level throughout the day. The more stimulation your brain expects, the more stress it experiences. And chronically elevated stress can make it harder to manage belly fat over time. The Japanese have a beautiful word called saijiku. It means stillness, tranquility, and inner calm. Protect the first half hour of your morning from unnecessary noise. Drink your water. Step into the sunlight. Take a few deep breaths. Let your mind wake up naturally before the world starts demanding your attention. These 5 habits are completely free. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need a complicated diet. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. You simply need to change the order of your first hour each morning. Start with warm water. Get outside into natural light. Wait 90 minutes before caffeine. Choose a peaceful walk instead of an intense workout. And keep your phone away during those first 30 minutes. Maybe the reason your stubborn belly fat hasn't gone away wasn't a lack of willpower. Maybe your hormones simply needed a better morning routine. And hormones are influenced by the small habits we repeat every day. So why not start tomorrow? Before you go to bed tonight, place a glass of water beside your bed. That way, the first thing you see tomorrow morning won't be your phone. It'll be the first step toward a healthier routine. Tomorrow morning, simply repeat these habits in the same order. For that woman in Kyoto, this isn't a challenge or a fitness plan. It's simply the way she lives. If this video changed the way you think about your mornings, share it with someone who's been struggling. to lose stubborn belly fat, despite doing everything right. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell us which habit you're going to start with tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.